Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Teresa. Today we're looking at Blend Bunny's Surge palette. Now mine arrived a little bit smashed, so I'm just going to be showing it like this. If you have seen my channel before, you know that what ensues is essentially some swatches, a tutorial of this look and a review. It's a rate it or slate it. So if that sounds good to you, then do please keep on watching. Did I just finish a super long shift at work? Yes. Am I super tired? Yes. Am I going to smash things onto my face? Also, yes. I have the Blend Bunny Surge palette now. It did arrive a little bit smooshed in that one of the shades, the blue one, arrived smashed. But do you know what? It's very first world problems. We're going to be fine. So I'm going to swatch these because, you know, why not? I have a cat who's just wandered into the... Ooh. Sorry, that was a very nice shade. Okay, so we have White Hot. That's a good white. Locked, which looks like a grungy sort of colour. Nice. Vinyl. Ah. Oh, that is a good black. Oh, and then this is a very nice sort of a creamy metallic. This is Flash. Ah, savior of the universe. Do, 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 do. Yeah. And then this is a very bright yellow. It's called Shocked. Ho, ho. I am shocked at how pigmented that is. What do you think, Cece? She has no major thoughts, but that's because, like, I left her all day by herself, so she is angry with me. Figured I'd do it, like, in the columns, because then it's kind of in its own colour story. There's rationale for this. We have Cut Out, then Juicy. I don't know why I don't like the word juicy. Couture. Grunge. Oh, nice. Then Zip It Up. And Power. Nice. Here I hear her crying downstairs. I assume she's like, I want to go outside now, even though you gave me the option like a couple of minutes ago when you came in. Oh, now I'm on the pink colour story. This is nice. This is called Cheeks. Nice. Maybe. Oh, 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 that is good. Taboo. Oh, Missy, you aren't wrong. These pigmented. All Mine, which is how I feel about this palette. And Charged. Charged. I really like that each column is a monochromatic colour story, but varying in depth in hue, whether it's like a metallic, whether it's a neon. I think that's very, very smart. Cece's lost her mind, so if you hear, it's just her probably running into a wall. Who knows? We have Reckon, then Stay, Covet. Oh, that's a good word. Euphoric. I assume that you're all coveting this palette now. And Pulse. Oh, softer jump in there. Chills. She has lost her mind. She's flinging things around. Whatever, it's all right. Then Rush. What is she doing? Linger. She's like, no, Mom, I'm doing nothing. Then we have Underneath, which is underneath it all. Cece is sometimes a good girl, but not today. And here we have Energy, of which I have none, because I'm tired. I'm so tired. Look at those bags. Look at those bags. And the final section, the green section. I'm excited. Are you excited? Oh, you better be. Oh, sorry. Intense breathing. So this is Hint. Yes. I love it because, like, these are like, you know, sometimes you buy a pastel palette to like blend stuff out. This has this in it. This is so smart. You can tell this is a makeup user. Alive, like as in the person who made this palette. Lush. Oh, I had to explain that word to somebody today. Limitless. And Chemistry, which is how I feel about green. I have never looked better. and I can see the bright pink there when I look down like this. Yeah, anyways, that's it. Those are the swatches, and I'll find time at some point to do a makeup look. So that's the next part. Okay, this is what I've ended up doing. It's odd, let's be real, and I'm hoping that once I've put the full face together and lashes, etc., that it all makes sense. I'll put a lot of faith in this. Anyways, I am using this Jessup 231, and what I wanted to do was go into the neons, because neons as like a pressed pigment are really, really difficult. Like, Huda has tried to do it with, let's face it, shit success, and I figured, right, I want to check this out, and I was really mean and I wanted to try the yellow, because yellow in general, very, very difficult to formulate. A neon yellow, even more difficult. So I really, really want to try it. So I'm going to try and hold this up now. It is a bit shattered because of shipping, and we're going into Shocked. And I'm using my Problematic Queen mirror. So just popping that in. Now, the pigmentation is actually pretty good when you consider I do not have like a white base down. I don't have a white base. I'd love to get one. I think there's a P. Louise one. But I am the sort that if I opened a base, I will just use it and use it and use it, because that's one of the ones I'm actually really good at, like, using up, are like bases and foundations. But you can see you get a good amount of pigmentation there. And I'm just smacking that on with reckless abandon. It was a bank holiday here. This is one of the few days I'm actually managing to get filming, because I did start a new job and it's working as a behavior analyst again, but that's good pigmentation. I think you can see. My friend Missy has recommended this brand to me several times, and I finally bit the bullet and got it, and I have to say their customer service, excellent. I'm using this Morphe JS12, don't judge me, and I'm going into the green here, which is called Chemistry. Anyways, yeah, I'm back to working in applied practice, and if I'm 100% honest, it's really tricky. Not the work itself, but it's the fact that the hours are really, really long, and there's a case that I'm on. I can't obviously give details, and I won't give details. However, it does require essentially 6 hours of commuting a day, and I'm doing that along with a 9-hour shift, so it's about a 14 to 15 hour day. Sometimes 2 to 3 days in a row, and I'm kind of exhausted, so it's not feasible long term, and travel expenses aren't really being recouped, so I'm losing money weirdly on this job. I haven't been paid yet, so that's been lots of fun. So it's a fun financial shitstorm to be in, I believe is the correct term, haha. But I'm hoping I can get back into lecturing. At some point I'll do a video on what went down, but if I'm honest, I'm still traumatised. She's laughing because otherwise she cries. Taking this JE05, it's a Jessup, and I'm going into this shattered shade, which is Energy. So it's a blue, and it's really quite nice and pigmented. I'm going to try and repress that at some point because I'm giving this to Tia. She said I can use this though, because she's a very lovely lady. I'm very excited because this is a Monday, the bank holiday Monday here as I'm filming, and the girls, as you may know, are coming on Thursday. So I'm very excited. I am going to film or tomorrow, which is a Tuesday, with Tia in advance of that. So I'll hopefully have it up for the Saturday so that you will still have your Saturday viewing solved. Aren't I just exceptionally lovely? I do think so. I'm not the worst as worst things go. Do the eyes match? Absolutely not, but who needs matching? Matching is overrated. I don't know, I'm very tired. I'm taking this Jessup JE10, and this time I'm going into the pink, Charged. I always find with this eye, I find it harder to get shadows to stick. I don't know what it is, but I don't find it as much with this eye, which is part of why I always film with this eye. Now you know my secrets, my terrible, terrible secrets. That, and I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that train a coming, I'll hang my head and cry. But you can see pretty darn good pigmentation. I think maybe the pink is the one that I'm least whatever about. But that being said, I think it's pretty darn good. Like that's neons. Neons are I mean, love the idea of them, and then actually trying to work with them and get them to stay is annoying. It's like trying to get a Tinder date to stay. They never do. I'm taking this Jessup 231 and now I'm going into Pulse, which is something we should all aspire to keep, really. Given this last 2 years. God, I've got very morbid. Anyways, whatever, it's grand. And I'm just gonna swishy. Blendy. And on technical terms, I'm after using a heap of brushes. Who do I think I am? Elena? Missa? I don't know. I don't have their talent. Or the time to, although mind you, Missa hasn't had a lot of time to film these days. We're all in a weird situation. It's not just me. Let's all have a bitch and a moan together, lads. We're all in this together. Let's all cry and I was gonna say drink wine, but I don't even drink wine. But let's drink Schlur and have a cry. I'm taking the Jessup 231 again, and I'm going into the yellow again. So that same one, I think was it charged at the beginning, and just to try and blend it, just add a little bit more. Although let's face it, the pigment on that pretty darn good. And then I'm taking the JS12 again and going into. I was going into the pink because apparently I'm an idiot, but I need to go into the green, which is, I believe, chemistry. Ah, yes. And again, taking this JE05, I think it was, and going into the blue. That was smashed, unfortunately. And just back and forth to build it a little bit more. But do you see that blends actually pretty easily? Not massive, and I didn't have to pick up an awful lot to get it to there, so that's always nice. If you know me, you know I'm lazy. Taking the JE10 again and going into the pink, which I do think that's the shade that somewhat lets this down. You can see it kind of fades away. It's not the best on that, but also not the worst. I think out of pink pigments, it might be one of the better ones I've had in terms of a neon. Neons are just a pain, you know. I think it takes a very brave cosmetics brand to try and do neons because they are just very difficult. I find that loose pigments are usually the best if you want to do like neon. So you can see it just kind of fades away. But look, it is what it is. And then going back in with that purple to just go back and forth. But it's pretty lazy. It's a pretty lazy look. Except for, like, I was like, when in doubt, just glue things to yourself. Glue things to yourself. I'm now taking this Jessup 223 and I am going into the shade Alive. I'm alive. Very annoying because I used to love Sia, and then she ended up being quite anti-autistic, which was a bit like, oh, great, thanks. Oh, I found a really interesting fact the other day. I'm not sure how much of a fact it is, but I hope it is true, and if it isn't, let's just make it true. You know, that's how it works, right? Anyways, apparently, you know how, like, if you look at like posters from the 1940s or whatever with women, a lot of them had like bold red lipstick. Part of why they had that was apparently Hitler hated bold red lipstick, which I'm like, he'd have hated my makeup. So I'm all for it. I'm taking this Jessup 230 and now I'm going into Rush, which is what I like to do with my makeup. When we went out for dinner at the weekend, I did my makeup in about 10 minutes. Speed. I could do speed. Like, not the drug, but like, oh god, I don't know. You know what I mean, lads? They don't really make a lot of sense. I'm looking forward to playing with this palette a bit more. This is a nice one. And yes, I know I said I'm giving this one to Tia, but it's because it was a whole thing, and the owner of Blend Bunny is sending me another one, so when my own comes I'll be playing with it again. But Tia said I can film with this one because she's a nice person. I'm taking this Jessup JE03 and I am going into maybe, but I figured of all the people to give the palette to, it'll be really good because Tia will come up with a chunk of looks and it'll be great for Blend Bunny as well because, look, let's face it, I'm rubbish. Don't know why you're looking at me. Don't know why. You're not learning anything. Find somebody better to look at. But Tia does actually good makeup, so it'll be fantastic for their brand to have her use their stuff, if that makes sense. That was my rationale. I was like, you'll be lucky. You'll have a Tia using your things. This is a nice pink. I like the way this is looking. Don't worry. I will be like sorting all this out. I'm using this Melt Transition brush and I'm going into the shade Stay, which is what I want that neon pink shadow to do. Just stay, but I don't think it will. It's already like looking like it's trying to move away. But sure, look, it is what it is. It's all very first world problems. I like the murky colours, but I was like, no, let's go with the colours that are going to be really tricky. Just to put the palette through its paces. Which I know is mean of me, but a lot of us are paying money for this, so why not? But I have to say, I'm so impressed with customer service. For me, that's a big thing. I'll happily spend a bit more if I get really good customer service. I'm taking this Jessup 231. It's dry. There's nothing on it, and I'm just going to sweep back and forth here just to get a little something something. I hate myself for saying that. I absolutely do. Oh well. Could be worse. I've definitely said worse, I'm sure. And then back and forth here. Yeah, that'll do. So what I'm going to do now is cut all of this. So I just cut a shape out and I will put down like the eyeshadow base and we'll come back and do the very last bit. We're not gluing stuff on, not on camera. I don't need that level of stress and me swearing constantly. Okay, I cut out the weird shape and yes, we're on to the next part. So I have a Zoeva 238 and I'm going into the green shimmer. It's called Limitless. It's so pretty. So I really have just put blue everywhere from that smashed shade. It is just everywhere. I'm sorry to you. I will try and repress a certain amount of it. So I'm just kind of putting it along that line there. I'm just having it follow it. And I think this is actually quite simple. Now, I'll never get to the point of Missa and Elena. They are 5,000 times more talented than me, but I'll give you a weird makeup in a short period of time. You know? Although it probably isn't healthy for me to compare myself to others. Stop doing that, Teresa. It's not good for you. There lies the path of misery. So it's a really, really nice shimmer. I'm just going to take a little bit onto my finger because it helps to kind of get that little bit extra. It's not as obviously precise as using the brush. But I like to kind of skirt over it because it gives it that extra little something something. And then I'm using a Jessup 237 and I'm going into the blue one and that is called Underneath. So that's the blue shimmer. And let's try you. And just following that line. I'll pop that there. Now, this one you definitely need like a dense brush with like a shimmer. I often find a brush doesn't put it on that well. It's like you have to put your fingers in there and I'm like, ugh, I don't love that personally. You know, that's just a me thing. So what I use sometimes is this NYX brush and I'm gonna pop that in there and you can kind of see it'll kind of take up a bit of the pigment and it'll give you a little bit of precision. So that's my little hack. You can see it kind of gets it in that way. pointless, but there you go. And if you're interested, I will leave a link if you want to get it in Boots. I'll leave a little link down below, an affiliate link, because I am that bish. No, why not? Why not indeed? But I find that kind of goes on a bit better if I do it that way. And I'm just putting a bit more onto my finger because I'm gross. Why not? And then next thing I do is just take this little Morphe M562 and I'm going to just kind of swish between these. Probably should have swished between those, but actually they were pretty swished already, so I didn't have to. Plus when they're more kind of serving the base, it's not a big deal. I'm lazy. I'm taking this Morphe brush and I'm going into the shade Zip It Up, which is this gold. We're almost there, lads. We're almost there. And just popping that there. Wiggle it back and forward. That sounds so wrong and yet so right. Very last thing I do is just take this brush again. And now I go into Flash. Ah! And I'm going to pop that, that blue is everywhere. So that I don't have any times, but I need you to know. It's a difficult time for me. There we go. Oh, that is gorgeous on top, isn't it? That is pretty. So yeah, that's it. In case you're wondering, the liners I'm using are Mellow from Sheen and Orchid, also from Sheen. So I'm going to finish off the rest of this. We'll come back, I'll have the full thing done, and yeah, that's it, nice and simple. So I'm back. I obviously did the rest of my makeup and I will zoom you in now so you can see the eyes. So this is what it looks like. There's loads of gems. I'm going to part the fringe so you can see it a bit better and take off the glasses. Yeah, I mean that's it. It's quite, if I say simple, Brianna's going to get angry at me. For me, it's fast and relatively easy. So it's an intermediate level is what we'll call it. Yeah, that seems about correct. So yeah, that's it. That's the look. So now we're on to the review section. So what did I think of this palette? I think they were very brave putting in some neons because neons are hard. And of the, was it five of the 6 neons that I tried, 4 of them were really good. I think the one that lets it down is the pink. The yellow I was very surprised by because that's really, really difficult to formulate. So well done them. I tried some of the pastels on kind of the waterline just underneath there, and I tried quite a few of the darker ones and the metallics. All in all, I'm pretty darn impressed. I think this is a really nice palette. I think just because of the neon pink not being quite as good as I would like, I'm giving this a 9.5. I think this is a really good palette. Yes, I know it's a rainbow palette, but I like the fact that each column has a colour, but in different hues, tones, finishes. There's a neon, there's a pastel, there's a deep colour, there's a matte, there's a shimmer. I think that's done really, really well. You can tell that the person who runs this company has a passion for makeup as well, and I'm all for it. And I will also say their customer service, excellent. And you know me, I'm a sucker for good customer service. But that's it. That's the end of the video. Do please like, comment and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you can see more whatever happens over here. Who knows? Do please share, because sharing is caring, unless of course it's an STD, in which case, you know, wrap it up. Don't be gross. But that's it. That's the end of the video and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.